Alrighty, Void. How you guys doing? So, let's move right into the next of this big-ass collection. So, the second in the Bad Ben series, Steelmanville Road. Or Bad Ben Steelmanville Road. This is a prequel, actually, to Bad Ben, and kind of explains what happened in the house before Mr. Riley purchased it. And yeah, alright, this one's more of a mixed bag than the first one, but there's still some here that I did enjoy. I mean, it could just be that I'm a sucker for a found footage flick. I mean, there are some that even I will turn aside. But this one, well, not as quite as well put together as the original Bad Ben, and kind of loses the gimmick by not being as much of a one-man show. It does add a lot of background and continuity. Or background to this, to the continuity, rather. So, we are following a married couple who just inherited the house. We are following Rachel and Matt. So, Rachel's mother just passed away. I believe it was her birth mother, and she didn't know her, I believe. It was a couple weeks ago I watched this, but they only talk about that a little bit at the beginning. Anyway, and so she inherits the infamous house on Steelmanville Road, and when she and her husband move in, weird things start happening. So, they end up putting in the cameras that we see in the first one as kind of a surveillance system to first watch the outside of the house as they keep hearing noises at night, and it starts freaking Rachel out. And then when things start happening inside, well, they put the cameras in there too. And their buddy's kind of the one who installed the cameras. Now, it becomes pretty apparent that she believes she's being haunted. But, and since Matt works at night quite often and isn't around, she ends up being stuck there alone, and, well, there's noises outside, particularly the screaming sound, and swears she's seeing things. And then a ghostly figure starts seeming to follow her around on the camera. Well, in trying to figure this out, they had to talk to the person who got them the house, learned that their mother had one friend that she regularly met, so they talk to this crazy old lady, who may not actually be crazy, and she talks about spirits and demons and all sorts of stuff. And it turns out this is all involving the Jersey Devil. Yeah, there's a lot of exposition going on here. But she's the one that brings the infamous religious paraphernalia from the first one, help keep the bad spirits away, and, well, warns her that the Jersey Devil's targeting her to essentially continue his line. And Bad Ben from the first one is essentially the demon child or the new Jersey Devil. Okay, cool. So, the acting is kind of a step down from the first one. Particularly, the old lady just wasn't working as well for me on this one, but overall, it didn't take me out of the film. Only two things kind of took me out of the film. One is trying to figure out that old lady. Now, she's clearly involved and up to something. She seems to be actually a friend of the mother who was there before, and is actually talking to her. And she seems to be... I don't know what she's trying to do, though. She's trying to ward off Elijah, the ghost boy, but by putting up the religious stuff. But at the same time, she seems to be also, when things go poorly, she essentially buries Bad Ben, and pretty much indicates that the Watchers will lock him up in the basement when he rises again. So it seems like she's trying to protect the people, and she's the one that does this big seance thing, and also seems to, at one point, open the door for the demon to get in. So, I'm not sure who's... There seems to be more... Because there's demons, there's ghosts, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on here. And I'm not sure which side she's playing for, because she seems to be warding the ghosts, but working with them, and she's cautioning the lady about the demon, but letting it in. I don't know where she falls on this, and it was kind of baffling to me trying to figure it out at the end. Because she later sneaks in and pretty much lets the demon in. Then after that is trying to dispose of the demon's child. So I don't exactly know what was trying to happen there. Second, and this is just kind of since Nigel Batch is using his own house again. The one thing that kind of made me chuckle is it's kind of tricked out like a modern house, so they make it sound like this old woman just passed away, or the mother of the girl, also, and her friend is kind of an older lady, so she's be like much older, but she's got all this like modern video game equipment there, so it's like, and all of it's came with the house again, so it's like, it makes it seem like it could have been that they brought in some of that stuff and it just didn't show it, but it just makes it seem like this old lady had this really tricked out house. It just seemed to be a little odd, particularly since the way they described her as being very reclusive and never going out, only barely anyone in town knew her, things like that, so it was a little of a continuity thing that just wasn't seeming to mesh, but otherwise, I still enjoyed the film. But yeah, it definitely was. It lacked a little bit of the panache and ended up being a bit confusing. So I'll give Steelmanville Road, we'll say 5 MacGuffins. Alright. See you later, Void.